If you're studying for the SHRM exam and you still feel overwhelmed, you're not alone. Most people fail this exam because they don't know what to study or how to study. You probably have a broken study plan and you just don't know it. In this video, I'm breaking down the 3 reasons that most SHRM study plans fail and the exact approach that I teach that does actually work. You guys know I don't give filler. I'm just going to give you the stuff that gets people certified. So let's get started. Now, truthfully, most people don't know how to study for the SHRM exam. I didn't know how to study. I was all over the place. Now, luckily, I did have my light bulb moment before it was too late, but most SHRM study plans are set up to fail. And there are 3 reasons why. The first reason is people study too wide, but not deep enough. Now, there is a lot to cover. Any SHRM book that you pick up is going to be at least 300 pages long. The SHRM Basque is extensive. The LMS is extensive. And the mistake that most people make is they try to cover all of that. I want you to remember this. The SHRM exam is about making us better HR professionals overall. So a lot of the material in the LMS serves that purpose. That means that everything covered in your SHRM books or everything in the LMS is not necessarily going to be tested on the exam. So you don't need to memorize everything that you see there. You don't need every definition or every model. The problem that most people have is they don't know what is important. You're spending too much time on things that don't matter when you should be concentrating on knowing what does matter forward and backward. You're not going to be asked to define the business life cycle. You're going to be asked what's HR role in every stage of that business life cycle. You're not going to be asked who sued who in Griggs versus Duke. SHRM wants you to use that case to recognize when a policy that might seem fair actually does harm a protected class. It's better to know 20 things deeply than 100 things that you skimmed. Reason number 2 is mistaking activity for progress. Too many times people just do a lot. You spend a lot of time watching a lot of videos or reading 5 different books, and that makes you feel productive. You read a chapter, you feel prepared. But when you try to apply that to a question, you can't do it. Knowing something is different from knowing what to do with it. So spending a lot of time on something just for the sake of spending a lot of time is futile. It doesn't mean that you're accomplishing anything. I had an employee who came to work and spent 8 hours a day there, and you would never know she was there if you didn't see her. You don't want to spend your time like that, especially your personal time, because most of us are studying this on our personal time. So if you're going to spend a lot of time doing something, it needs to be the right thing. If you can't answer a question about what you just studied, you didn't learn anything. So here's how to study smarter, not longer. Study in layers. The first layer is learning the concept. So this is where your flashcards can be useful. The second layer is applying it. So this is all about the practice questions. And that third layer is reflection. Can you explain it using your own words to a 5-year-old? And in every study session with a question, before you log off for the day, ask yourself, can I do something with what I just learned? Or did I just absorb more information? Now, if that answer is no, that means you need to continue studying. I suggest that for every 30 minutes of studying, spend at least 10 minutes applying what you've learned. Do a practice quiz or rewrite the idea in your own words, or you can do like a mind map. It's also helpful to explain it out loud, like in the mirror, like you're teaching yourself. All right. Okay, so now back to the reason study plans fail. Number 3 is you don't spend enough time on high yield. I've seen people spend 3 hours learning a theory or trying to memorize the year the ADA passed, right? Instead of understanding how you handle an accommodation. And that is a big difference. Okay, so now let me tell you what I've seen that actually does work. I'm going to speak from my own experience and from thousands of my students who have passed this exam. There's a system that I've built into everything I teach, and it starts with relevance, right? So topics that show up in multiple practice questions are important. This is why I emphasize the practice questions in the backward study method. Remember, I talked about that in another video. I'll actually link that video to this one. But also make sure you have a strategy for how to answer the situational questions. Keep in mind, these require judgment, not definitions. The best way to answer these questions is to understand how the questions are structured. This is what I teach in my situational judgment workshop, the way that every question is structured and how to recognize the answers that align with how the test writers create the questions. You really have to know this. This is a non-negotiable. Then anything that makes you pause and think, wait a minute now, why is this the best answer? Any question that seems like SHRM is saying the same thing in a different way, you need to recognize exactly what makes the answer choices different. For example, one answer might impact one employee and the other impacts the whole organization. They look the same, but then there's a slight difference that makes one better than the other one. I'm going to show you a question like that. I had one student email me the other day, and he was so confused because these answers really do look almost identical. I can see why he was confused, but I want to show this question to you so that you can understand what I mean. These are the kinds of questions that you should pause on and make sure you understand why one is better than the other. Even though it's just a slight little change of words, one question is more impactful, right? And I want to show that to you. Okay, here's that question. An HR leader learns that several employees across departments are unsure about advancement opportunities and feel their career paths are unclear. What is the best course of action? ASATs partner with department managers to identify career paths for employees and communicate growth opportunities during performance evaluations. BSATs partner with department managers to define career progression frameworks and integrate them into the organization's talent development efforts. Now, at first glance, this is confusing because both answers involve the department managers. Both of them talk about the career paths. Both of them actually aim to improve communication of the opportunities for advancement. But the correct answer is B, because it creates a system-wide solution that can be repeated and embedded in the talent development strategy. It's strategic. It's not just supportive. It prevents the same problem from recurring. A is tempting, but it's limited. It helps the employees, but only reactively. And then it also is going to require one conversation at a time. And it relies on the managers to communicate, and nothing changes structurally. It doesn't fix the root issue, and that is the lack of defined advancement paths across the organization. So SHRM really is testing, do you recognize strategy? Can you identify answers that shift the culture, not just have conversations? So when two answers are close like this, you need to make sure you understand why one answer is better than the other answer. When I saw how many people were failing the exam, and not because they didn't work hard, but because they worked hard on the wrong things, I built the complete edition. Now, this is my full system. It is designed around what the SHRM exam actually tests without the filler. My thought is that the exam itself makes you a better HR professional. So I'm not building filler into my study resources. I'm not trying to make you a better HR professional. I'm trying to make you a certified HR professional, and the rest of it will come. There's already enough stuff to learn, and even then, all of that you're not going to even remember, and it's not going to appear depending on what version you get. So I focus on the high yield information. The video lessons, the mini book, the flashcards, the quizzes, the infographics, even the tests, all of those are aimed to reinforce just what you need to pass this exam. And by virtue of passing this exam, I think you will become a better HR professional. If you are one of the hundreds of people who have asked me about the complete edition, please forgive me. I am not ignoring your email. I just wanted to cover it in a way that really helped you evaluate if this was something that you needed. Y'all know how I feel about spending unnecessary money. I don't want it for any reason. But I thought today would be a good day to answer everyone at the same time. So we're going to take a peek inside the complete edition. So here's what it looks like. You click on a book. Let's go with the competencies. Then leadership, and you've got a video that breaks everything down in plain English. Then you have a mini book with an expanded version of that video. So this is in written form, but it is also expanded. Then there's a quiz, and the quiz isn't just random, right? These are styled like what SHRM will ask, and all of the competency quizzes have a full rationale breakdown because, you know, the competencies are where SHRM pulls the situational questions from. So that's really important. I can't really show you the rationale here because I would have to submit the quiz. But then you have the section quizzes, and you will also have post tests. You have visual aids, a couple of different study plans to choose from. You can just determine which one works best for you, which one gives you the most structure, which one you think will makes you most successful. So that's the complete edition. And this is the structure responsible for my 98% pass rate. I've had students who failed once or twice and they use the complete edition and they get it. Right? So this is the system that I was looking for that didn't exist. This is what I poured into this system because I wanted to fill a gap. It has a clear plan behind it. It is layered for study. And this is the exact reason that I created it. Right. So it's really the same it's the same lessons that I teach my live students, but you can use it on your time. And it just has a little bit more information that goes into a deeper learning that helps you to really commit, and you don't need additional resources with the complete edition. Right, so this is what I have to offer you. I will see you next week with something new and hopefully something helpful that you can put into practice right away. If these videos are helpful to you, like and subscribe. It helps to boost it into the algorithm, and more people will be able to see the videos. All right, see y'all next week. Bye.